The Fantasy Football Heroes and Villains podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Birddogs Shorts. Dominate summer with an amazing pair of shorts and a free Yeti style tumbler when you order over at birddogs.com/pool. That's birddogs.com/pool. D-Gens assemble. Welcome back to Fantasy Football Heroes and Villains. I am your host, Justin Bruni. Joining me, as always, is my co-host and partner, Mr. Andrew, the TD King, Raub. Happy Friday, sir. We made it. How we doing?
Yes, man. TGIF. Love the weekend. Hey, I don't know if you saw today, but I tweeted out, looks like we have now officially launched the Fantasy Endurance Athlete line. There is only one graphic right now because Jake is waiting on me to kind of formulate this graphic that I have in my mind of what I think a fantasy athlete or a fantasy endurance athlete looks like. So I told him as long as you can, you want it to be your face on there?
You didn't see? Yeah, I retweeted that. Where the hell is my face, man? Listen, I know that you and Kramer do the 24 hours, all right? But I haven't seen a single one of you chugging a beer on a bike, drafting a football team, okay? Drafting a best ball team.
That's true. That is true. Sneak peek, though. There is some talk during draft day 3 coming to you in August. There may be a cardio session for one of those 24 hours. So stay tuned to that.
Yeah, I will be leading that session on the bike. I will be bringing it up the rear. You know, you might have Kramer in the background saying like, okay, we've got the nice, decline on the hill here. Nice little cool down. No, to the forest. Go through the trees. The downhill is a trap. All right. Follow Bruni. He knows where to take you to the promised land.
Yeah, so shout out to our merch god, our wizard of the merch, Jake Paquin, for getting that out. More design logos to come, but go get yours now at store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Also in my cart, if anybody's wondering, I will be buying those 10-pack of lighters. I know it's kind of expensive per lighter, but who doesn't want to be rolling around smoking your doobies with a sports gambling podcast lighter? I mean, come on.
It's my goal to steal one from every single SGPN employee at the Fantasy Football.
Oh, you better, yeah. I will definitely have them with me while at the expo.
For any Survivor fans out there, if you watch Survivor, there's a challenge you have to complete to like take somebody's or to earn an immunity idol. You have to like take like a special bead off of like each person's bag. That's gonna be me collecting all the infinity lighters from the SGPN crew. Dominate the expo. Then I'm just going to be walking around with like 10 lighters in my pocket. Well, it won't be pretty, but I'm going to get it done. Tonight, me and Andrew are back to break down drafting 0 RB teams in best ball, how to draft a solid 0 RB squad. I have pulled up my most recent one. I think I took until pick 90 to draft an RB, so I'll be referencing that every now and again. And you and I were actually drafting this one in Cardio Club. It was Cardio Club number 4. Team Ramrod was in that one as well. So I'll be referencing some ADP picks from there. First and foremost, before we get started, why don't you tell the folks, what 0 RB is for any of the novices, drafting out there if they're not familiar with the strategy.
Yeah, so I guess it probably differs if you ask everybody what the target round is for 0 RB, right? I think generally it's probably around 6-ish, where all 5 to 6 of your first picks are either running backs, wide receivers, or getting elite at the onesie positions. Or I'm sorry, not running backs, just wide receivers or elite at the onesie positions known as the quarterbacks and tight ends. So you're not taking any RB until roughly round 6, 7, 8, somewhere in there. Again, I think it really depends if you ask everybody what their target round is for 0 RB.
Yeah, so in this last one, I waited until round 8. I had drafted DK Metcalf, or I'm sorry, I had the first overall pick, not a surprise. Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf, Christian Kirk, Chris Godwin, Deontay Johnson, Treylon Burks. Pretty solid, when you're getting Treylon Burks as your, your 6th? 2, 3.
If you like Treylon Burks, yeah.
Yeah, I do it as my 6 wide receiver. Drafting James Cook, Alvin Kamara, Antonio Gibson right behind him. So I would say that that's like a full commitment to the 0 RB strategy. I think that there is, like you said, like kind of a mixed debate whether, you need to start targeting in round 6, 7, or 8. If you're taking it to the back end, yeah, of course, you're getting that extra leg up at receiver, but you're going to have to like really hit your home runs, on your 0 RB running backs that you're selecting. So giving a breakdown of just my receivers and running backs, I want you to just grade that group for me, that I drafted. As I said, Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf, Christian Kirk, Chris Godwin, Deontay Johnson, Treylon Burks, as well as Darnell Mooney and Marvin Jones. That's it. Those are my receivers. My running backs were James Cook, Alvin Kamara, Antonio Gibson, Jeff Wilson, and Ezekiel Elliott. Is that a group that you would trust to, really bring home, a top prize finish, or, even get into the final? Because
I really like your I really like your wide receivers. So that kind of makes up for how I feel about your running backs. I don't love the running backs. Now, if Kamara hits even with the suspension, I think you're fine. If he doesn't, I think you're going to struggle with that team. I like the structure that you did with how you built the team. I don't necessarily like those like last 3 running backs. I personally would probably choose other running backs that I know go in that same range, but I really like your wide receivers there outside of Treylon Burks. I'm not much of a Burks fan, but I understand why you picked him. What the upside is. So I'd probably give that like an 8.5, just those 2
Mhm.
alone. Cause I do really like those wide receivers. I think that they can make up the ground that your running backs could potentially lose.
Well, for my running backs to really bring home the bacon, they pretty much need to be receivers. I drafted all PPR friendly running backs. Again, James Cook, Alvin Kamara, Antonio Gibson, and Jeff Wilson. I snuck Zeke Elliott in there. Maybe hopefully he gets on a team and can fall into the end zone maybe 5 to 8 times this season. That's really all that I'm banking on. So, I got a little bit of a bulldozer there, but realistically, if Wilson, Gibson, Kamara, and Cook, if they can catch, if they're all in the high, expectations, territory and hitting 50 plus catches, I think I can make it. I only need 2 of them each week. I should note that I also drafted Josh Allen in the 2nd round. So, had to be done. In the 2-3 turn right after Mahomes and Hurts. So, that is an extra leg up. Like I'll get some rushing value from him, but it's not going to completely make up for, the actual, high end rushing ceilings that I'm avoiding, like the CMCs, the Ecklers, the Derrick Henrys, who are still going at, a pretty good value. So that's what I also wanted to ask you is, rank these 3 approaches for me, and what you would prefer to, if you were actually going into a draft, and what you would want to execute from most likely to least likely. 0 RB, hero RB, or BPA or ADP, which is best player available, or just playing to the average draft position.
I think exactly how you said it to me is how I would rank them that I want to go into the draft. It's either
Okay.
0 RB or I go get a hero RB. I'm not much of a person to just do best player available, because then you really are not trying to correlate. You're not trying to stack. You're just trying to get a team that you think is a powerhouse, which is nothing wrong with that. But
Mm-hmm.
ultimately, I think we all understand that if you're getting into the playoffs, you need to be stacking, correlating, something of that nature. By not doing any of that really, and maybe just falling into 1 or 2 stacks, you could potentially have a good team that might finish well in the regular season. In the playoffs, it might falter. So I don't personally like to do that. I will do that with certain picks that I'm just like, damn, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what to do, and I'll just take best player available. But I don't go into that with that strategy in mind.
If we're considering like BPA to be value hounding, I still think I can do that with correlating. I mean, there's so many
Yeah.
mid and late round stacks that you can target, like the Patriots or the Titans or the Cardinals, the Raiders. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo is falling into like the last round. If you're a buyer or believer, then you're getting excellent value. Same thing for Ryan Tannehill. Houston Texans, another really good example. You can draft CJ Stroud and a couple of his receivers within the last, 4 to 5 rounds, I should say. So I think that there are still a lot of opportunities when you are, quote unquote, drafting BPA, value hounding, just leaning into ADP, whatever it is. We were doing a draft together where Jacoby Myers fell 20 picks after after ADP. Yeah. And yeah, it's like, yeah, it's not a great situation right now on paper, the things that we're hearing out of Las Vegas, but 20 picks after ADP. I mean, come August, I just don't think that's going to happen, especially for a lot of the guys that, have, kind of a name brand around the NFL, like a Jacoby Myers. Even a Hunter Renfrow, who's still his teammate, I think will be getting drafted a little bit higher as, the casuals continue to enter the conversation and enter our draft lobbies in best ball.
Right.
It's
yeah. No,
kind of like that scene in Rounders when you see like the casuals come to the table and you're just like, I see you over there.
Yeah, no, I get that. Like I said, it's I want to correlate if possible, and just BPA just makes it harder if you're truly trying to just get best player available because it doesn't always correlate. But speaking of correlation, how about comfort and style? That's what Birddogs brings to you. Birddogs make you look good and feel good. Birddogs stretch khaki shorts are designed to fit slimmer through the thigh and leg, giving you a truly sculpted look. Birddog shorts do the exact same thing as Lululemon, but fit way better. They fit way better than regular shorts that are made of stiff, restricting cotton. You were talking about Josh Allen, and in my mind, he was like, that's probably a guy that wears Birddogs. Like, he seems like a dude that understands that comfort and design go together. And, the nice thing about Birddogs, from what our, one of the mothership people here, Sean Green, always says, is that they have a built-in liner. It's like built-in underwear. You don't have to pack separate underwear when going on vacation. Just let the balls run free inside the khakis. Do us a favor. Go to birddogs.com/pool and enter promo code POOL for a free Yeti style tumbler with your order. That's birddogs.com/pool for a free Yeti style tumbler. Pool as in POOL. You won't want to take your Birddogs off. We promise you that.
Yeah, Sean was wearing them for like 5 days, so definitely
he did say that.
The shorts of degens, right? If you're going on, a 4 or 5 day bender in Vegas, I mean, what not to wear than Birddogs?
It's true. Very true.
I am actually up right now. I'm on the clock in a charity best ball, the Biscuit Bowl, Mid-Atlantic.
I got invited
division.
to that too, and I kind of forgot to reply to the guy, and I feel bad about that now. I just never really crossed my mind, but
I'm representing.
Nice.
And speaking of some hero RB, I'll break down this draft really quick and then let you know what I'm going to do, because I'm going to have probably 2 picks while we're on the air here. We're coming back into the turn. It's a super flex best ball format, so I went Patrick Mahomes, Jared Goff. Patrick Mahomes, CeeDee Lamb, Jared Goff, Derrick Henry, Terry McLaurin, Amari Cooper, Deontay Johnson, Evan Ingram, and then in the 9th round, I took my second RB in Isaiah Pacheco. Followed up with Kadarius Toney, a little bit of stacking, a little bit of hero RB, really concentrated on Derrick Henry, and then waited, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 rounds for Pacheco. Guys that were drafted after him were, James Cook, Samaje Perine, Antonio Gibson, who I took in that other approach there that I was discussing, Khalil Herbert, Zach Charbonnet. I feel pretty good about that. What say you?
Yeah. I think it's a fine team. I mean, it's always different trying to change your mind to super flex, especially when we're doing all these underdog best ball drafts that aren't super flex. So I'm like, oh damn, you already took Goff in there, but it is super flex. So I think that is fine, So but I think that your team is fine. The Pacheco, I like Pacheco. I am worried a little bit about his offseason surgery that he had and everything. I do worry a little bit, especially again, this guy came out of nowhere last year, did very well. I do like him a lot, but sometimes we see those guys that are way late in drafts like that, way kind of buried on the depth chart and just make a kind of like a splash play, right? And then people are like, oh, okay, he's hey, that guy's on the team, right? He's a guy that's probably going to be on the practice squad, right? And then all of a sudden he makes the 53, and then he's out here winning Super Bowls with him, right? Like I don't know how much the team is committed to him, because at any point I feel like they could just kind of, hey, it's Patrick Mahomes' team. Like, what he wants is what he wants. If he wants McKinnon out there, they're going to give him McKinnon, right? So I do worry a little bit about Pacheco. But ultimately, I mean, I do like your stacking. I think in that kind of format, still stacking is viable.
All right, quick pick here. You get to make the pick. Rashad Penny, Devin Achane, Tyler Algier, or Jamal Williams. Or no, I'm sorry, Jamison Williams. Wrong column. Juju Smith-Schuster or Zay Flowers.
Well, if you want shoot for the moon pick, I take Jamison Williams. if you want to pick where I think a running back could do very well with one small injury is Algier. I'm assuming maybe Roshan Johnson goes later in that draft than what we see him go in Underdog.
He's coming up soon.
Okay. Obviously, you
But
know my love for
I'll
Roshan.
probably just try to get Jerick McKinnon with my next pick because I'm going to be up here pretty soon again.
You're going to take both running backs on a team that throws the ball a lot.
Yeah. Both running backs should catch the ball.
Bold. Yeah. That's bold.
They both finished in like the RB20s last year, and Jerick McKinnon
yeah, but
only
that
played
was wildly efficient season by McKinnon.
Not saying he's going to do it every week, but it's best ball.
That is true. That's very true. Yeah, so I mean, ultimately, I would take Jameson Williams just because I like, especially what his fantasy outlook looks like when he gets back on that team, and his fantasy playoff weeks as well are interesting, especially playing the Cowboys week 17. So,
Jameson Williams, he's the target.
I like it.
All right, let's talk top wide receiver targets at the top of the board for a 0 RB draft approach. Who are some guys in the early rounds that you know, if you're going to go with this strategy that you absolutely want to leave with? Like, I want either 1, 2, or 3 on my team every single time. I can tell you a popular pairing that I've been doing was CeeDee Lamb and Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's at the 12 and 13 turn, typically anywhere from 11 to 14. Is there anyone in that same space or in rounds 3 or 4 that you just are dying to get?
I mean, I kind of have I don't truly mind getting any of those wide receivers, the Lambs, the Adams, the Waddles, Garrett Wilson, Amron, Devontae Smith, Higgins, like all those guys, I'm fine with. Olave. I don't think there's any one of them that if we're not counting Jamar Chase, Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Tyreek, like those guys at the top, AJ Brown, Diggs, if we're not counting those guys, just the back end guys, I think if I was going to go wide receiver, I kind of prefer to go Lamb, Amon-Ra, Lamb, Wilson. I actually don't mind switching up too and going like Garrett Wilson, Amon-Ra, or Garrett Wilson, Waddle. Those guys, I really like getting 2 of those, like any of them. I don't really have one that I'm like, man, I definitely want that guy. I'm cool just taking any of them.
Is there a certain cutoff where you might say like it's time to switch to running back? Because I feel that way when I'm hitting like the Olave, T Higgins territory somewhere in there. I feel like DK Metcalf is kind of like one of my favorite like wide receiver 2 targets. My second receiver drafted, probably most common.
I mean, honestly, man, I'm good going through like the first 4 rounds, just picking up receivers. There's not really a cliff that falls off where I'm like, don't really want to take a wide receiver here. Like, I'm cool with taking all those guys, though. And in round 4, normally we're seeing Mike Williams, Amari Cooper, DJ Moore, Jerry Jeudy, Terry, all those guys go around that area. I don't mind taking any one of those. I don't feel like I need to bounce off a wide receiver at that point and go to running back yet.
There are some guys that I will bounce off of. So Christian Watson.
Yeah, I know you hate Christian Watson.
I've been pretty it's not that I hate him. I'm still drafting Christian Watson. Like you
still got him back in the 40s or whatever you had him at?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm drafting him after ADP. Like I'm going to wait for him to fall. I'll find one of those lobbies. It's going to happen. But I've stacked him up with Jordan Love, and you know that I'm not high on either of those guys. But I've also drafted 80+ best ball teams. Of course, I'm going to throw in some parity here. I got to account for just being dumb. Maybe I'm just completely wrong about Christian Watson and Jordan Love. Yeah, maybe that's it. Well, I may have wasted $25, going against my own beliefs and my religion. But hey, what does it matter if I win $3 million? Then I will be Jordan Love's daddy. It won't be the other way around as a Bears fan. Someone else is Deebo Samuel. Like, I like the situation. I think it's a good spot for a bounce back here, but I think that not taking into consideration the regression that he went through last year, I think would be a slight. I think we still have to take that into account. You also have to take into account CMC now being on the roster, George Kittle having a little bit more pulse if Brock Purdy is going to be the starter. Same thing with Brandon Ayuk. Both of those players, took a step forward with Purdy under center. And again, you have CMC there who's going to eat up, a strong portion of the offense. And then Devontae Smith, just because I feel like there's so many options in that offense. Like, they're going to run the ball a lot. They still have AJ Brown, who he's playing behind. AJ Brown arguably a top 10 receiver in the league, period. He may not be in fantasy because of just how the offense is, but then you also add in you add in Dallas Goedert. Jalen Hurts is going to run the ball. He's going to have direct runs. Like,
Smith's the first one I'm going to push back on, and here's why. Last year they had a soft schedule, like second easiest in the entire NFL, the Eagles, right? And he still did fine, right? He was great, fantastic wide receiver, right?
But he also needed a Dallas Goedert injury towards the end of the season to really get kind of juiced up, and at least on his stat line.
Yeah, and Goddard was out 5 games, I think.
Yeah, to close the season, it was the last 5 games of the season, and that's why Devonta Smith is a big favorite, is because he won a lot of people some money. Like, he produced when Goddard was out of the lineup, and I think when you look at his production with Goddard in the lineup, yeah, it's good. It's just not as boomable. It's, that high ceiling is just a bit lower.
But don't you feel like they're going to have to throw the ball more this year, because now they have like a bottom half of the league hard schedule?
I hope so.
Like, I just don't think that they're going to be blowing teams out like they did last year as much, and they still threw the ball, an okay amount. I think we're going to see an uptick in targets for both AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. I still am okay with Smith there. So I'm assuming then you prefer Higgins over Smith.
I prefer going with T. Higgins over Smith. That's an offense that will pass the ball a lot more.
Yep.
Right. And of course,
I don't know if they'll pass a lot more. The Bengals pass a lot more. They already fucking pass the ball like a bazillion times.
A lot more than the Eagles.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I was going to say, it's like, damn, they already passed the ball.
It's a much different situation at the receiver position. It's far friendlier. Yeah. And they also just, let Hayden Hurst walk. I mean, obviously Irv Smith is coming in. We've been talking him up a little bit recently, but I think that he's less of a threat still to, Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins behind Jamal Chase.
Yeah, Eagles a new offensive coordinator too. So that's yet to be determined what they're going to do with that. They're still going to run the ball. They were massively good running the ball, but I do think they're going to open the playbook a little bit and let him throw it a little bit more than they did last year.
Yeah, I just think that some of the guys after him, are going to be in also friendlier situations, like DK Metcalf, an offense I still believe will pass more than the Eagles. Christian Kirk and the Jaguars, same thing. Terry McLaurin, maybe not so much. Maybe that's even, but Terry McLaurin's a stud. He's a star. He's a wide receiver 1. I just still think that he can finish well ahead of Devonta Smith this year. DJ Moore, of course, my highest exposed receiver. Who else? I think Chris Godwin can definitely duel Devonta Smith for total production this season. And that's just what I'm getting at here. Like, that to me is an easy pivot to the running back position, because I just have a handful of guys that I can get in rounds, 4, 5, and 6. And even 7 that I really like Deontay Johnson, pretty even for me, other than Devonta Smith probably scores more touchdowns.
Yeah. I mean, obviously in that point, if you're taking a wide receiver in round 3 or 4, because you kind of let the cliff fall off for wide receivers, then obviously you're not going 0 RB.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. That's if I'm coming into a draft and I'm going to pivot off of that, that would be the space. Like, if I'm staring at the board and it's let's say Devonta Smith, DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Watson, Deebo Samuel. Like, I can pivot, because I'll feel good about coming back with,
I think,
an Amari Cooper or a Mike Williams or a Jerry Jeudy or a Terry.
Yeah, I think that the problem that most people kind of fall into, and why you don't exactly go 0 RB, is if you look at a recent board. I'm just pulling up one of the drafts I did. I don't know if it was yesterday or 2 days ago. When you look at the end of round 2 through the beginning to middle of round 3, all I see here is quarterbacks and running backs going, because once that Higgins goes, nobody really wants to take Calvin Ridley or DK Metcalf ahead of Henry, Pollard, Stevenson, Jacobs, right? Like, that's, I think it's really, if you fall in the back half of round 1, if you're 6 to 12, I think 0 RB makes a little bit more sense for you because of who falls where, right? If you're in the beginning, you can do it if you get lucky. And like, let's say Devontae Smith and T. Higgins fall, you have 1. You took JJ already. Higgins and Smith both fall to you. Instant clicks for me. I'm not even thinking about a running back there. I'm taking both those guys as my second and third wide receivers. If that doesn't happen, that's where you need to pivot, I think.
Oh, yeah, no, that sounds good. My top guys in this area are going to be like DK Metcalf, like I said, Deontay Johnson, who we've been talking about a ton, and DJ Moore. Like, those are probably like my top receivers that I want to leave with, other than, of course, like you had mentioned, some of the top options. Like in this last one, last draft I did, a 0 RB approach. Again, didn't draft an RB till round 8, pick 90. I started off with Justin Jefferson and DK Metcalf. those are my first 2 receivers, but I could have also taken, I could have taken DK and Devontae at the turn. I took Josh Allen. So I was able to go with that, hero QB approach, go elite QB early and, round out some of that production, with the top quarterback, obviously staying off RB. But, if Alvin Kamara has that top 12 season, I'll be sitting just fine. Good example of a good RB to target in that space. Who are some other mid-round RBs that you really want to try and target if you are going wide receiver heavy, hero RB, whatever it is?
You said middle round running back targets?
Yeah, so like let's say like 8 to 12 or 9 to 12.
8 to 12
RBs that you really like in that space.
Yeah, and I think
like, that guy's there. I can draft all these receivers because I know I want or can get X player or players 8 or 9 through 12.
Yeah, and I think honestly, Underdog stands alone on some of these strategies because Underdog's half PPR, DK's full PPR, like it's different. But I do want to take this quick minute here to thank Underdog. So we are brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Ball Mania 4 is here. Justin and I are talking about it right now, and this total prize pool for Ball Mania 4 is insane. $15 million in prizes, $3 million to first place. Underdog Pick'em is also a great way to get down in your favorite MLB, college baseball player props. So many more ways to win over at Underdog, and it is active in so many states. Actually, a lot more now than even Ball Mania 2. I remember when I got into it, there was only like 7-8 states available. Like it's so widely available now, which is awesome. So if you haven't already, please head over to underdogfantasy.com, use promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. That's underdogfantasy.com, promo code SGPN.
Party on, Garth.
Oh yeah, party on, Justin. So anyway, when you asked me round 8 through like 11, 12, whatever, I did write down a couple of guys that I know I've been drafting that I like to target here. First guy I want to talk about a little bit, James Cook. James Cook, this is a pretty easy click for me because, when you look for a running back, right, especially at the top of draft, somebody you're like, I need somebody to smash for me. I can't fuck this pickup, right? You want somebody who's on a good offense, who doesn't need to share the ball a ton, who's going to catch passes, right? James Cook, check mark every single one of those boxes. On the Bills, doesn't really need to share with a lot of people outside of Damian Harris, and he catches the ball. He's going to do a lot of his work in between the 20s. Now, with that said, I do think Damian Harris has a little bit of an edge on him in the red zone for, especially like within the 5-yard line, 10-yard line, because I do think he's the punisher of a runner between the two. But James Cook is shifty. Doesn't mean that they won't give him some goal line carries. And again, I do think Josh Allen takes a step back from how much he really puts his body out there, or at least what the coaches want him to do, right? So James Cook, a pretty easy target for me, round 8, round 9, somewhere in there. I do think that he's a good pick there because of the opportunity that he probably has on a very good offense. Another guy I like to target, Zach Charbonnet. I am probably standing alone on an island here when I say that Zach Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker are probably going to split touches more evenly than people think they are. Ken Walker, not as effective as people thought last year. He had a bunch of long runs, so his explosive rating was very good, but his efficiency, like picking up 1 or 2 yards on like third down, he was not very good at that. I've looked into this because like I heard somebody talking about it. I'm like, okay, he seemed like he was a lot better than what this person's making them out to be. Checked into it. Kind of fallen into the whole Ken Walker may not be as good as people think he is as far as his efficiency. And without as many touches as he's going to get last year, without having somebody there who isn't very good, because Zach Charbonnet, for most people, was a top 5 RB coming into the draft, if not top 3. He's a very good running back on a team that's probably going to split the ball between the two. I think he's more in line for the pass catching role than Ken Walker is. And honestly, like, I just think that he's like just a good overall running back. It would not shock me if at the end of the year, Zach Charbonnet has outproduced Ken Walker. Hot take, because they're going way different in ADPs, but I would 100% rather take Zach Charbonnet than Ken Walker currently. So I've talked about James Cook, Zach Charbonnet. How do you feel about those two guys?
So Charbonnet is interesting because I guess I feel the same way because I haven't drafted much of him or Ken Walker, to be honest. Like, I think the situation is just, so controversial that I'm just staying off of both of them. I could really buy into either of them, but I would prefer Charbonnet per the ADP game if that's what we're playing. If it is going to be a split, and I guess maybe that's just what I'm looking for, is maybe a little bit more insight, a little bit more camp talk, a little bit more, training camp insider info, because I haven't really settled on any major shares of either of them. So I don't hate him in that spot, but there are guys that I like a little bit more than him. James Cook, obviously, I believe he's the guy that I mentioned in this zero RB approach that I went with, and he was my first RB drafted in the turn with Alvin Kamara in rounds 8 and 9. Again, good situations with potential high end PPR running backs with a lot of exposure to a lot of fantasy points as long as their team is passing the ball a lot. And I'm hoping that the Bills do exactly that. I'm expecting New Orleans to do that as well with the investment of Derek Carr. So those would definitely be two guys that I would bring up. You already mentioned James Cook. Alvin Kamara, you're really just betting on if this guy's playing all of his games. If he is, up to round 5, like minimum. Like, is that wrong? Could it be even round 3 if we get just like no suspension?
I think it's higher. Yeah.
There you go.
It's probably round 3. Yeah.
So yeah, 6 rounds. Like, yeah, I'm getting an absolute steal, and I have a ton of Alvin Kamara. He is one of my top 5 exposed running backs, and yeah, I am putting myself at risk there. But if it pays off, I won't have to draft him again. I'll be done, and I'll watch everybody pull him up the board, and I'll collect the remainder. Guys that I would bring into this conversation also are AJ Dillon and Samaje Perine, guys that I believe could wind up being the RB1 on their team given the right circumstance. Not that I'm discounting what Aaron Jones can be in the offense without Aaron Rodgers. It's just that I believe that this team will try to run the ball. And when you're getting more running volume in that offense, because they were like one of the top passing volume teams in the league last year with Aaron Rodgers, they passed a ton with him. I feel like they're going to come down to a bottom 5, and that physicalness and athleticism from AJ Dillon is really going to pull him up the board, or not pull him up the board, but pull him up the fantasy rankings, because he's just going to have so much more opportunities. Also, I'd mentioned Samaje Perine. I'll touch on him. Same situation. Javonte Williams may just not be ready by week 1. May not even be ready until November. That's the situation. And backup RBs, RB2s get like an average of like 10 touches a game under Sean Payton. So that's like your floor. With Javonte potentially out for a while, I got to feel like he can get up to like 17 or 18 for a bit. Maybe it balances out. But again, going in around 10 or later, I think that's an incredible value. And then the last one I'll add in is Brian Robinson. Again, maybe not the sexiest pick. Antonio Gibson is going in the exact same round or within a round. So you're kind of like planning your flag, which is going to be, the better option. But I think there's realities where both guys can finish leaps and bounds ahead of the other. We just have no idea which one it's going to be. But I think the excitement and the new presence of Eric Bieniemy, really just heightens up both players' value. I think both of them should be going before round 10, in my opinion, because I still think that they're not going to pass the ball a ton. I think they're going to really try to set the tone with the ground game. Howell can run the ball a little bit as well. I think he may mix in more with that than people may expect. So I'm expecting a lot from those two, and I think those guys are both going at a value as well.
Yeah, I agree with all of those. The one that I think the lowest on that you mentioned is AJ Dillon.
Okay.
I do worry that they're going to see
surprise.
stacked box more often now. I mean, it's Jordan Love, not Aaron Rodgers there anymore. So I do worry about that. Aaron Jones is fragile, I think, a little bit. I think there's a case that AJ Dillon could be in line for a massive workload if Aaron Jones would happen to get injured. So I do see the case for AJ Dillon. There's other guys I'd rather bet on. But I do think that that's still a good 0 RB target. I'm completely in line with you on Samaje Perine. I know we've talked about him in depth for multiple shows, especially when we're drafting, because that's a guy like Javonte Williams might not even play. He had a very bad injury. Like J.K. Dobbins, he all but didn't play last year, and he didn't. His injury wasn't as bad as Javonte Williams, so he may not even play at all. If that happens, Samaje Perine's ADP is an absolute steal, like absolute monstrous steal where he's currently going. So love that one. And of course, you already touched on it. Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson, both those guys, very good 0 RB targets. I think Brian Robinson, is in line for a very good goal line work. Antonio Gibson's not that guy. He's a smaller bodied guy, shifty, but not a bruiser by any mean. Brian Robinson is. If they add anybody, which talk of the town is Kareem Hunt, Again, not as big of a bruiser as Brian Robinson. I do think they can steal some touches away from him there, but I do think Brian Robinson's in the lead role for the goal line work. Also, Sam Howell, a little sneaky athletic as well, so I'm sure he'll get a couple of those too. But I think Brian Robinson is a very good 0 RB target. And again, Antonio Gibson, depending on what Eric Bieniemy wants to do with him, he could be in line for a very good PPR season. He's a converted wide receiver, right? So like he has great hands, but he has this problem with putting the ball on the ground, which is another reason I don't think he sees a lot of goal line work. Is you don't want to march down the field 73 yards and lose it 2 yards to go into the end zone. So I don't think they're going to give Antonio Gibson a whole lot of goal line work. But I love all those guys that you talked about. I do have a couple of other names I just kind of want to mention. So a couple other ones are Elijah Mitchell. Just again, very good backup on a team that has a soft schedule, and
they'll use him still. They'll still use him. They've clearly showed us that they're going to use him. And he's going to be in the game plan when healthy.
I just think he's a leading candidate for probably the best backup case, because CMC has been proven to get injured. And again, Niners have a very good run offense and a very soft schedule this year. So Elijah Mitchell could be league winner if CMC goes down. Jaylen Warren, another one, very good running game, a good offensive line. Najee Harris already injured last year, and Jaylen Warren was actually better on a per carry basis than Najee Harris. So Jaylen Warren's a good one. And then, of course, Roschon Johnson and Tyler Algier, both of them kind of same thing for me. I think that both of them are very good backups if something happens or they just happen. I think Roschon has the case to actually earn the number one spot. Algier's not going to unless Bijan gets hurt. But if both of them happen to earn the one, they could be in for a massive workload on two teams that like to run the ball a lot.
Yeah, Roschon's going in round 12. Elijah Mitchell, same thing. In that same space, I like those guys. I haven't really gotten a lot of Elijah Mitchell. I have when I've drafted CMC, but I also really like in that round or the next round, Jamal Williams, Tank Bigsby. I think those guys are going to have a lot of exposure to high value touches in the red zone.
So as we're talking about this, I'm just looking. So we pretty much talk from guys everywhere from 8 to round 13, right? So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. That's 6 rounds.
We didn't mention Devin Singletary in round 14, but he's also a big favorite of mine.
Another guy. But even if we count round 14 out, just 8 to 13, that's 6 rounds. Imagine in your first 7 picks before you get to round 8, you take 5 wide receivers, tight end, and a quarterback, right? It's probably a good start to most, right? You could literally put your running back room together from rounds 8 to 13 and then go back to drafting wide receivers, your backup tight end, your backup quarterback, whatever the case may be. So for everyone listening, just know that when you're missing out on some of these running backs at the top, or if you're at the back half of the draft and all you see is wide receivers falling to you and you're like, damn, I'm not getting any of these running backs, right? These guys I like. Don't worry. You can put together a full room of complementary guys that are in situations that if their lead running back gets hurt or is ineffective, they have an easy role to get in there and dominate touches over the other guys behind them. So it's not as hard as people think to do a 0 RB build, because it's not as scary as some people might think when you're looking at who's actually available in those rounds 8 through 14-ish.
Yeah, and before we get to some of the later round RBs that we like to target, I think that's just an important thing to note. And I know that we've been banging the drum on this, all off season, but it's really just the ADP. Like if you're chasing ADP, you're going to be getting a lot of early receivers, and you're going to be getting good running backs in this space in that round 8 or 9 to 13 or 14, somewhere in that range. So again, when you're looking at the receivers that you're drafting in those rounds, 8 to 9 to 13 or 14, you're not feeling as good about those receivers as you would about the running backs that are being drafted there. So when you're drafting Alvin Kamara versus Allen Lazard, there's a big difference of expected value if both guys are playing 17 games and they're going 2 picks apart from each other. Same thing for a guy in Javonte Williams, who, like you said, we have no idea how healthy he's going to be this season. Again, going 3 picks within Alvin Kamara. AJ Dillon, whether he or Aaron Jones get 250 touches, I think at least one of them does. I think they both get at least over 200. He, again, going in those later rounds with someone like Sky Moore, a complete question mark, Jonathan Mingo, Odell Beckham, Zay Jones, guys are in middled offenses or in middled wide receiver groups where you're getting these guys like Dillon or Kamara, Cook, they're going to have either high exposure to high value touches like touchdowns or catching a lot of passes. So there are a ton of really good options in that space for running backs. You just don't feel the same way about wide receivers. So like the kind of break for me, honestly, is Treylon Burks. It's like Treylon Burks, Marquise Brown, and maybe Jahan Dotson, just because of what I saw from him in a small sample size last season. And then from there, I'm like, you know what? Hey, I have no overcommitment to any of these receivers over running backs. Let's start filling up the RB room. So, you know, when you're starting to comp between Cam Akers and Michael Thomas, that's just an easy pick for me. Why wouldn't I go with Cam Akers? You know, like even on a bad, you know, what we perceive as a bad offense, I still think he's going to be really good and he's going to have a lot of touches.
Yeah, I don't like either of those guys, Akers or Thomas.
As
As you said that, I'm like, ugh. I mean, obviously, you know, you touched on Jahan Dotson. I think that's a very good bet this year. Going around 7 is a guy that, you know, 7, 8, I guess. He's a guy that has top 20 wide receiver upside. His over-under right now for touchdowns on the year are 4.5, which I think is extremely low. He had 7 last year, missing 5 games on a team that he was a rookie on. What the hell are the lines doing with 4.5? Get that out of here. And it's even money. Spoiler alert, I may be writing a player props article, and it may have Jahan Dotson over 4.5 touchdowns. I mean, this man led all rookies besides Christian Watson. Christian Watson was tied with him with 7 touchdowns as a rookie, with arguably worst quarterback play potentially this, you know, last year. And you're telling me 4.5 is the line? I mean, I don't want to go off on a Jahan Dotson tangent here, but I mean, that just seems low. Everyone's booking him in for a very good season if he stays healthy. And I just think that line's there. So I know it's a fantasy show, but everyone, if you want to earn some money, go take that right now. Even money.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. I would take that over 4.5, you know, any day, twice on Sundays. So let's get into some late round RB targets. Who are some of your favorites? I think I have a few ideas.
When you say late round, like where are we starting now?
We already mentioned Devin Singletary, so let's go around 15 to 18.
Oh man, round 15. You start with my one of my favorite guys to target, Jerome Ford.
I was about to say it. It was on the
oh damn, you should have said. Wait, hold on. Let me guess.
Damn
it. Yeah, Jerome Ford, baby. I mean, Jerome Ford has been impressing at OTAs. They got rid of D'Ernest Johnson. He's like the only guy of note behind Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb's going to need a break at some point. Nick Chubb, they can't give him 400 freaking touches, right? Like this man eats, breathes, and sleeps football. You can tell Nick Chubb. I mean, I love how he gets out there with no gloves on and he just has his little fingers taped. Like he looks like a dog running the ball, but he's going to need a break. He's going to need a change of pace guy, right? Like he's not always just they're not going to be leading games all the time. And he's going to be the guy when they're behind in games. Jerome Ford's going to be the guy on the field majority of the time, I believe. At least at the end of the games, right? So I think that there's a very good case for him to have standalone value on a team that, if Deshaun Watson isn't as good as we hope he can be this year, they're going to want to put the ball on the ground a little bit more. I think their standalone value and his ceiling, if Nick Chubb goes down, is just astronomically high. I mean, look what Nick Chubb does. Jerome Ford is no Nick Chubb, but he's a solid RB2. So I think that that's a very good bet for us in the rounds 14 or 15 area, wherever you want to select him.
Yeah, I definitely don't hate it. As I said, I knew you were coming with it. So give me some Jerome Ford as well. Been collecting a few more shares recently. Yeah, it's a good situation on a team I think is still going to run the ball a lot. Kevin Stefanski has shown us that in the past, you know, that he wants to utilize both his running backs, you know, a la, Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. And now I think Jerome Ford can take over that role. And yeah, like you said, you did see, you know, D'Ernest Johnson in there every now and again. Guys that I really like, Jeff Wilson, Chuba Hubbard, also Chase Brown. I think Chase Brown's, you know, getting some underrated love right now in these later rounds. I think that he is going to be a big part of their run game. We still haven't seen a commitment from Joe Mixon to redo his contract, to reconstruct his tender for this upcoming season, which they're asking him to do. And I'm not like trying to buy in and like that's going to be a big thing that happens and Chase Brown's going to somehow be in like RB1 territory. But I think it is a good situation to start getting involved in. We already saw Samaje Perine leave, and we've already seen, you know, this team utilize all of its running backs, including Samaje Perine and Chris Evans, as well as Joe Mixon. So I think Chase Brown right now is in a very good situation. Comes in, he's young, athletic, doesn't have as many miles under his legs as some of the other, you know, running backs around him. I think it's not a bad situation at his ADP in round 15 or later. Chuba Hubbard, very good situation behind Miles Sanders.
I was going to
Yep.
stop you when you said Chuba. I was like, yes, that's somebody else I was going to highlight. Chuba's in a great spot. He said he was there last year. Miles Sanders is not. He's coming in now, and he obviously has Deuce Staley, but I don't think Miles Sanders is probably like the franchise guy, right? Like running back. I
Yeah.
think they're going to probably split the touches a little bit closer than people think too. So yeah, Chuba was somebody I was going to stop you and say I totally agree with Chuba as well.
And Deuce Staley has said that he wants to use multiple running backs. And this is also a team that I expect will be behind plenty this season. You may see Miles Sanders sit a majority of third and fourth quarters, if the team's not winning or they're in a bad position, or they need to get a little bit more vertical because, Chuba can do a little bit of everything. I'm not going to say he's like a pure pass catching back. I think he can do both. But I can tell you one thing, Miles Sanders is not a pass catching back. He slinks out into the flat and that's about it. Like he doesn't run routes out of the backfield. So I'm confident that Chuba is going to get on the field quite a bit this season. And again, someone I've been banging the drum for a ton is Mr. Jeff Wilson. I think that he is still one of the more talented backs down there in Miami. Yeah, Devin Achane is fast, but he's young and he's raw. Raheem Mostert just can never stay healthy. And they traded for Jeff Wilson last season. They did have to re-sign him this offseason, but they still gave up draft capital for him. It wasn't very expensive, but they went out and acquired him. He has a connection with McDaniels. I think that there's something there between those two. So, if I can survive, a Dalvin Cook signing, then I think I'm going to be in a really good situation. But if Dalvin Cook does sign, I can get Jeff Wilson in the last round. And honestly, I think I'll keep buying. Like, I think his skill set is, very leverageable in that offense. I think McDaniels is going to be able to use him, in his playbook, in a versatile manner. So he's someone that I really like. And I shamingly drafted a bunch of Zeke Elliott, unfortunately. I just feel like he gets on a roster and can fall in the end zone 5 to 7 times. I don't know.
Couple more guys I like at the very end, last 3 rounds here, and I won't really get into it too much on them, but Kenny Gainwell, Gus Edwards, and Ty Chandler. Case for Kenny Gainwell is I don't really think the Eagles know who they want their number 1 running back to be. Could be Swift, could be Penny. They had Gainwell last year. Like, why Gainwell makes sense too, right? So for a guy that, and I say this about Terrence Marshall, it's kind of like the same thing for me, is for a guy that we don't know isn't going to be the one, why not take a chance on him late in drafts? I mean, it kind of makes sense. He could be the one. And if so, there's no way he should be going this low. So that's my kind of caveat for Kenneth Gainwell. Ty Chandler, I think he's a better running back than Dwayne McBride. I don't really see the case against Ty Chandler. He was there last year.
Kenny Nwangu.
Like I said, I don't really see the case against Ty Chandler. I think he's going to be the guy behind Madison. And he's going usually in round 18, if not, 17 or 18. Again, another guy that could be a very good RB2 on a team that's going to probably score a bunch of points. And like I said, Gus Edwards, who the fuck knows what happens with J.K. Dobbins, man? Like, this dude didn't play last year. Now he's trying to hold out for a better contract. Like, Gus Edwards could be the number 1 running back in Baltimore start the year, right? Like, we have no idea what's going to happen there. Gus Edwards is a good running back, a good goal line back. And for, to get him in round 17 or 18, 16, whatever, case you want to be, very good value for him as well. So, so those are probably the last 3 round guys that I'd look to target.
I can't disagree at all. Yeah, give me Gus, give me Kenny. I think just being a running back in the Eagles offense, there's just a vacuum for touches and points. I don't think there's going to be a huge rhyme or reason. My guy to dominate the ball there is still DeAndre Swift. Like, I still think that that offense can unlock him. It's a super deep group. It's a great offensive line. I mean, yeah, the offensive line was good last year in Detroit, but he was never prioritized these last 2 seasons. So I feel like, they went out and got him. He's going to be rocking number 0 with the tinted visor. Like, bro, the drip is going to be too hard.
How many touchdowns is he going to get?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Remember the video of DeAndre Swift running out of bounds instead of trying to get the first down when
as a rookie against the Bears? I mean, smart idea, but
well, I guess except for your team is third down. You want to get a first down.
That's true. But no reason to get injured playing for the Lions, and I know he's already missed his fair share of games. So
it's true.
But yeah, I think Gainwell going in round 17 again is it's like taking the second running back for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's like getting Jerick McKinnon at a bigger discount because the team is just going to have so much more opportunity to score points than the rest of the league. They scored the second most points last year, even if they say regress to like 5th or 6th something like that with a tougher schedule, that's still a great situation to buy into at that ADP. And, obviously it's the least risk adverse, right? Like you're still putting yourself out there when you're drafting Swift, even though you're getting him in that kind of like mid-round range, like I want to say like 7 or 8 he's going. I have it pulled up right here. I guess I can just look. Isaiah Pacheco round 6, Damian Pierce, DeAndre Swift
is 7.
I have him in this one. He went what is that, 61, 62? So he went at the beginning of round 6 in this last one.
Wow.
No, well, not last one. The one that you and I did. This is Cardio Draft 4.
Yeah, I say 4. Yeah, Cardio Draft 4. That was how long ago now? A couple weeks ago.
Not
The one I just
think.
did yesterday or 2 days ago, I forget. He went 79, which is round 7.
That's awesome. That's probably at value. Like he's after ADP still in that one, I would assume.
I don't know. I can't see when you click on the. Actually, hold on. I can tell you who drafted him. This guy, Ryan something or another. Let me pull his team up. I can check. DeAndre Swift, current ADP 77.6. So he went 2 picks after.
Yeah, so he went after ADP, and this person took him way ahead of ADP.
Mm-hmm.
Garrett Fowler from the Cardio 4 draft. Shame, shame, shame.
Man, as we sit here and talk about these guys and what rounds we like to take and everything, I think it might behoove us to do a pod where I know you like that word behoove, right? Yeah, that's a good one.
I thought you were going to say let's do a draft right now.
Let's try to set something up where we look at the first 6 picks and then the last 6 picks of each round and decide what position we like best with those picks and kind of go down and see how a team would be created with, like, hey, we're in round 5. I'm in the last 6 picks of the draft. It looks like wide receiver is probably the best value here. So we slot in taking a wide receiver, right? I think we should go down, and that might help us try to look at how to structure a team, especially depending on where your draft slot is as well.
Let's do it. I never say no.
Yeah, I think it'd be good little practice for us and good exercise for people listening to kind of hear us talk through what good values are in what rounds.
Yeah, sounds good to me, as always. You got anything else you want to chat about? You want to do a draft? You want to head out? What do you want to
do? Talk about wise. No, I think we pretty much covered a lot of the guys I would want to talk about as far as 0 RB is concerned. I think we made some good cases for a bunch of the guys going, after round 8 through round 14. Like those are some really good targets to look at. So I think that's good. I don't mind doing a draft. I don't know if anybody in the chat wants to hop in here with us as well. If so, if you want to put it in the chat here, I don't mind. I don't mind doing one.
All right, we're gonna hit a quick 30-second break, and we're gonna come back to do this draft. We just got to play a little bit of music here, so I know where to actually cut it off when I'm throwing this thing on Apple and Spotify. And shout out to our Apple and Spotify listeners. We appreciate you. Be sure to download the episode and leave us a positive review. We'll be back in 30 seconds, and we're gonna draft this team here, or draft a best ball team. Here we go. Bonus content. Let's ride.
Do we want to take a quick 1 minute or 2? I would like to grab a beer and go pee, if that's all right.
Do it. Go do it. I'll talk to the people about ADP.
Oh yeah, please do. I'll be right back with you.
I'm gonna bring up the board here. Actually, really just talk about some positional rankings that I really like. I've been just banging the drum again and again on Deontay Johnson. I want to talk about some other guys in that range that I'm kind of starting to pivot onto. Where are you at, Deontay? There he is. So he's going, let's see, wide receiver 34. It's just absolutely crazy to me. Other guys that I'm starting to pick up a little bit more in that range. Jayon Dotson, like we had mentioned earlier in the show. I'm not really trying to go off of Deontay onto George Pickens just because I feel like, he's still going to be kind of middled in that offense. Kind of a similar situation to Jahan Dotson, actually, because you have like a pure wide receiver 1 lined up next to you, and your big upside is probably going to be touchdowns. And it's just really hard to predict, Kenny Pickett to really go, to like a high ceiling and throwing, passing touchdowns. Feels a little bit more likely for Deontay or McLaurin to still have, steady value per, total reception volume and kind of like middle total touchdown numbers. Other guys, Tyler Lockett, I'm trying to get onto a little bit more. I've drafted a lot of DK Metcalf, so have a ton of high exposure to him. Trying to slip in a little bit more Tyler Lockett. Obviously, you still have Jackson Smith and Jigba like right next to him, going at like the same ADP. I really don't hate going with either one of them. What really irks me about those guys is that week 5 bye, because there's a lot of later round receivers that I like that have that same bye week. And I get back there and it's like, why did I take this guy again? It's killing me. But then I remember I have like 8 or 9 wide receivers and, I don't lose any sleep at night. Big faller, Christian Watson, as I'm always saying. Christian Watson going at wide receiver 20. What? Does anyone at Underdog realize that Aaron Rodgers plays for the Jets now? Huge touchdown regression coming his way. Yeah, he could get, maybe 6 to 7 targets a game with Jordan Love under center, but are those high value targets in your opinion? Like if you're asking yourself that question, like, is Christian Watson going to have a better finish than DeAndre Hopkins, even if Hopkins goes to the Titans or Patriots? Terry McLaurin, DJ Moore, Mike Williams, Christian Kirk, Chris Godwin. You're telling me that Christian Watson is better than these players? I disagree. I strongly disagree. Really good value that I'm starting to pivot on more is Mike Evans. Another week 5 bye, but kind of going into, off the Chris Godwin pivot. Chris Godwin, another guy that I'm drafting quite a bit of. Mike Evans, just so underrated. He's going to turn 30 this year. I get it. He's an older receiver, but buddy has got the skill set. I mean, I really just hope that they go out and grab, like Carson Wentz and are just completely irresponsible with the ball, and they just throw it downfield all year to Godwin and Mike Evans. But it probably won't happen because that would be too convenient.
All right, good sir. Let's draft.
All right, sure. I don't want to go get a beer. I don't want to break. I'm just kidding. We got to go.
Oh, go ahead. I can talk if you want.
No, it's all good. All right, I have my finger on the trigger. Are you ready?
I'm ready, man. Let's do it.
All right, let me see what I got. Don't waste $25. 8 more to go. You're in.
Yes, sir.
I saw someone else jumped in the chat, so we're doing a bonus draft here.
Yeah, that's Ball Mania. Hop in if you want.
I'm going to get it pulled up on the actual board now. Well, I guess once the draft actually starts, I will. Yeah, just talking some mid-round receivers there while you're gone, taking a piss, grabbing a beer. What you got there? A little High Life, a little champagne of beers, a little Land Shark.
Okay. Land Shark Lager, baby. I love these in the summer.
Love those in the summer. All right, here we go. One more person to start. That filled up pretty quickly. Be sure to go over to Underdog and use promo code SGPN. Get 100% deposit bonus up to $100. You're getting 4 free drafts. 1-3, let's ride.
All right. Well, I'm going to practice what I preach here. I am in the 11 spot. I am probably going to go 0 RB here, man. Let's check this out and see if we can kind of.
I'm doing it too. Commit to the bit, baby. We're both riding or dying with the 0 RB tonight. Let's play some chicken.
It'll be tough for you.
I just did it with the 1-1, bruh. I just told you how I did it with the 1-1. I have the blueprint, my friend. Fuck with me. I got it. Oh, yeah. You guys are complaining to me about dark mode. Let's see if I can switch that over really quick. All right. So I have to exit the screen, then I'll open it again, and we'll be all good. Then it'll be in dark mode. Per the kids, as our boss will say. The process 76 is on the clock. You're trying to gun me down, Andrew. I'm 1 pick away.
There you go.
Tyreek or Cooper Kupp? Tyreek or Cooper Kupp?
Oh, Cooper Kupp.
Oh, are you starting to buy into the assault issues now, huh?
No, I just thought about it. I think Kupp's a better pick.
Did you think hard?
Long and hard.
Let's see what Schwang does. I bet it's CMC. I mean, the guy's name's Schwang. No red badges. Oh, CMC. How about that? Just some good old-fashioned black and white badges in here, including yours truly, the TD King.
Yes, sir.
And then we got T-Bone 2917 and GK Richer with the badges rocking out. Bijan at 6. Wow. Somebody was watching him rocking some Birddogs because, oh my goodness. Pick 6. Wow. The second running back drafted by the Nerdmander.
High expectations.
That is high expectations, bud. I mean, there are some people that will let him slip. Not that guy. Not the Nerdmander. No. We got Travis Kelce at 7. I believe that's at ADP. No problem there. Stephon Diggs 1.8. Don't hate it. I kind of prefer AJ Brown over him still, but that's just me.
All right, so I'm hoping to take. I mean, again, I said this earlier. I don't really care who it is. I'm probably just going to take Lamb.
Smart man.
I kind of got off Lamb a little bit. I think I'm going to get back on because the exposure is a little low here. So I'm going to take Lamb, and then I'm just going to take whatever's left between Wilson, Adams, Brown, St. Brown, and Waddle. I will probably, in order if they're available to me, will take Wilson, St. Brown, and then Waddle over. Man, I hate the Waddle over Adams. Where do you sit with that?
I'm just going back and forth. I mean, I don't.
Whoa, Nick Chubb.
I don't think I'm taking a grand stand or anything like that. Yeah, Nick Chubb ahead of Taylor and Barkley. Wow. T-Town 91. Ouch.
I mean, I don't hate it. I thought he would just take 2 wide receivers, to be honest.
He must have been watching the early part of the show when you mentioned 400 touches.
I'm just going to take Garrett Wilson. He fell to me. I'll take Garrett Wilson.
That's an easy pick right there for me.
Yeah, Lamb and Garrett Wilson. Love those.
Yep. No, I love those as well. Like I said, I'm trying to get CD and Amon-Ra. If it's not that, then it's CD and Wilson. I've taken Wilson in with the 12th pick before too. Then we go Devontae Adams after Jonathan Taylor after your pick. So the guy ahead of you went RB. You went receiver, and the turn went running back receiver. So you have some mixture there. T-Bone 2917. He went receiver.
Patrick Mahomes.
Woo!
Man, you did not have to take that there. Yeah, I get that. I get
stacked. That. He's paying for it. I'm not gonna like hate on it too much.
It's not even unique to do that anymore. I see that all the time now. You know,
but we're over here preaching correlation. We're preaching stacking. Like it's
it's fine. It's fine. I obviously have that stack already as well a couple times. It's just it's not unique anymore. You know, we kind of thought it was at first. It just isn't anymore.
Thoughts on Tony Pollard over Saquon Barkley? It's a wag of the finger for me, my friend.
I personally wouldn't.
Wag of the finger for me, my friend.
Especially a guy coming off an injury too. I don't know.
You have an offense that's going to pass a lot versus an offense that's going to run a lot. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like I believe in Tony Pollard. Give me the Harvey Dent pin. I believe in Tony Pollard, but like over Barkley, no. CMC Barkley stack. So I'm coming back
on the clock, mister.
I am. I've got Cooper Kupp dialed in now with T. Hig.
Okay, Higgins over Olave. I don't know if I would pull that trigger. I think I like Olave just because I think he can get more targets. But yeah, I mean,
I have more Olave. I have a lot more Olave than I do T. Higgins. Derek Carr is my highest exposed player, period. So I have plenty of Chris Olave.
Mm-hmm.
And then the process 76 at the 1 now has Justin Jefferson, Derrick Henry, and Ramondre. Pally, who is now on the clock, already has Jamar Chase, went Chris Olave. Yeah, I mean, if I had taken Olave there, I think it puts Pally in kind of a tough spot because he's either got to go, with T. Higgins or one of these running backs. I don't think he dips to DK Metcalf right there if he wants a receiver. But I also really don't prefer going, if I draft Jamar Chase, I really don't like going Jamar Chase, T. Higgins 1-2. I really don't like to. I have because, hey, all rules of reality, but I don't like it. I don't feel in love with it.
Mm-hmm.
Cooper Kupp, T. Higgins, DK Metcalf, feeling good. No bye week collision yet, 10, 7, and 5. I know that there's no collision with CeeDee Lamb and Wilson.
Yes, there is.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, they're both by week 7.
Oh, shit. I guess I'm just so used to Lamb and Amon-Ra being off the same or not having the same bye weeks that I thought you could get away with
I'm okay
that.
with it. Again, I don't really worry about bye weeks until I'm like later on in the draft. And then I'm looking like, all right, how many players do I have by week 7, 10, whatever. So at the beginning, I don't let that influence what I'm going to do.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I've just done a bunch of that with the big board already. Like there's 30 drafts that I've, done without bye weeks. And there's plenty, I think that we still did in Best Ball Mania without bye weeks. So I've been there, done that.
This is draft 42 for me in BBM. What is it for you? I know you're in the 80s.
I think it's 84. I thought I was at 84 the other day, but
if it's 84, that means you have double what I have.
Yeah, that's right.
You just balling it out, man.
I'm about that work, son. Huge value for Josh Allen going late round 3 here. Pick 32 for Josh Allen. Golf clap for T-Bone. Waiting and being patient on that stack, getting Stephon Diggs, Jalen Waddle, and Josh Allen. Tip of the cap to T-Bone, 29-17.
I tell you what, if Andrews and Jackson fall to me, I know I don't have. Never mind. Andrews just went.
Speak of the devil and shall appear.
Criminy. So I don't have a lot of Debo. I don't fully know if I truly believe in Debo. I might take Keenan Allen here. It's tough for me here.
Tough. Andrews and Lamar going back to back.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Keenan.
Man, you need to start showing Najee Harris more respect, but that's okay.
I'm going 0 RB, so I mean, I can't be doing that.
I wouldn't have hated pulling up Jerry Jeudy up the board. Like I'm getting more on Jerry Jeudy by the day.
That is who I'm taking here if this guy does not. And
hey,
we're gonna go ahead and take Jerry Jeudy.
Respecting the process, Najee. Yeah, I still like Najee over Keenan, but I'm a big Keenan guy. Respect, much love, so can't hate on it too much. He's just one of my dudes.
So for audio listeners here again, my team right now out of the 11th spot: CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson, Keenan Allen, Jerry Jeudy. Love that.
That's really kind of you, but there's no audio listeners. This is a YouTube only. I'm cutting this.
That is true. To the YouTube listeners, if you're blind and can't see, here's where
shout
we're
out.
at.
Shout out. If you're watching us and you have the inability of sight, like wow, like so much love, and I'm really sorry. There's no.
You can still hear YouTube though, right? I mean, now granted, how did you get to type in YouTube? I don't know. I'm not sure how that works, but.
Do you ever touch a keyboard, Dick?
I have, but if you can't originally see it, how do you know where
J and F, bruh. J and F. They have indentations. It's like the original Braille. Probably not. I think Braille was before the keyboard, but what do I know?
I would imagine so. There's definitely been more blind people than, computers access over the world.
True.
So.
Speaking of disabilities, I was doing a walkthrough of this lady's house the other day, outside sales and whatnot. This lady fell down some stairs. She fell down her own stairs. I was like, I felt so bad for her. I'm like trying to help her. Can I get you some water? Can I take you somewhere? Can I call someone? Like, are you okay? And this lady just walked it off. Like her back hit like dead center in the middle on some wooden steps. And she is just like, she's moving to like Kenya, and she's got like a British American accent, kind of like in District 9. She's like, right, rub some dirt on it. Not too big a deal. Damn, like you are tough, lady.
That's
like,
very Crocodile Dundee-esque.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hunter right there.
Pretty much. That's the vibe she was rocking, right? And I talked to her today, the day after, and she was like, right, they had to take me away in an ambulance. I already sold my car for moving. I'm like, my goodness, an ambulance? What happened? Oh yeah, broke me back. Might have a hairline fracture in my hip. I'm like, what? And the doctor, they have like a video of it. The doctor and like the husband are watching the video in like in the emergency room, and they can hear her offering me water. I was like, can I get you anything? Can I do anything? She's like, no, I'm fine. You want some water? Can I get you a drink? What? What? I was like, you have
it's pretty
super
baller.
super high pain tolerance. I'm like super impressed with you right now, lady. Like, I'm sorry. And she's like, yeah, I played field hockey, bit of an athlete.
Man, you really brought DJ up the board there. I was wondering if you were going to do that. That is, that's bold, Cotton.
Is it really that bold though? Is it? Like, again, I was talking about this when you weren't here. Just again, like the disrespect with his ranking. Marquise Brown is the top available receiver right now, and he's at wide receiver 30. I'm telling you that Deontay Johnson is a top 20 receiver. He's my number, I think, 19 or 20. It fits.
I mean, yes, it does. Just
like a glove.
Yeah, you're just reaching, essentially. I know it's not a reach as far as your rankings, but as far as ADP is concerned, it is a reach.
This shit's broken. It's not right. It's incorrect. Hit it a couple times like a jukebox. It's not right. It's not. I'm sorry. It's a terrible ranking. It's bad. Didn't DJ Moore go well ahead of his ADP too? Like a lot?
I don't remember.
I'm looking right now. I'm calling back. DJ Moore. Oh, he went 3 picks ahead, 43 to 46. So that's not terrible, but yeah, no qualms. I took him, 12 picks ahead of ADP. Wide receiver 32 down to 20. It plays with my math, but I don't work at Underdog. I don't make the ranking, so.
I'm eyeing up Justin Herbert here. This is the only guy I think that might take him. The guy who doesn't have a QB right here in between me and this other guy.
Okay.
Or lady. This other person, I should say. It could be a lady.
Milligan? Is that it? Or is it balling out?
No, the guy who just picked Ken Walker.
Yeah, that's Milligan.
Yeah. God, that guy like this team's dead. Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, and then he has 3 running backs. What a dead team.
Damn.
That is just absurd. Since I already have 4 wide receivers, I don't feel like I need to take the safer pick of the Seattle guys and lock it. I think I'm going to take who I think could be the best guy at the end of the year outside of DK Metcalf, and that is JSN. I'm going to take JSN right here.
As I was just talking up Tyler Lockett while you're taking a piss.
I like Tyler Lockett. I think that's like, if I had like 3 wide receivers, I'd probably take Lockett. Since I have another buffer in between there, I want to take JSN. Upside.
Trying to see which one of these wide receivers is going to fall back to me. I think I'm good right now. I like my 5. I might have to pivot early because I'm getting to that cutoff. I like Mike Evans. I like Treylon Burks. I like Addison.
I don't have any George Kittle yet, so you know what? Just to stick with 0 RB, I'm going to take Kittle.
Okay,
that's my first Kittle pick, by the way, in BBM. First one.
I don't like Kittle ahead of Kyle Pitts and Dallas Goedert. I mean, you have to do it. I mean, that's his cost. Like, I get that, but
yeah, and again,
it kind of angers me.
The reason I don't have him is he's my tight end 7 ranked right now, and that's obviously behind Pitts and Goddard. But again, you explained it earlier about the whole Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, Jordan Love thing, right? Like, you don't truly fully believe in them, but you're dumb to not take any of them, right? Like, so if you're going to max this out at 150, there's a couple teams that you got to kind of go against yourself a little bit and pick some of the guys that you don't fully love.
Yeah, Mike Evans, Treylon Burks, Kadarius Toney. I don't think I'm taking a receiver here. I might take one of these tight ends, maybe. Yeah, man, George Kittle just to play up to that ADP again. Like, he scored multiple touchdowns in 3 of his last 4 games. Even with a healthy Brock Purdy, I just have to believe that the touches just they're not as volatile where he's getting that type of exposure to touchdowns again.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot to live up to. You know what? Addison might slip. I got one more pick. I think I'll take Addison.
Where are you starting to target these running backs? Is it going to be round 8, like we said, or are you going to?
No, it's this next pick because if Addison didn't fall to me, then I would have taken a running back there.
Mm-hmm.
But still, no conflicting on the buys. 5, 6, 7, 10, 13, 14, all solid receivers. I've got Cooper Kupp, T. Higgins, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, Deontay Johnson, Jordan Addison. Feeling really good about this team. Feeling really good. And shit, I might even fade running back here.
I was really hoping Jahan Dotson made it back to me. That did obviously not happen.
Damn. I'm on the clock. Just because there was a brief run of those 2 running backs, I think I am going to take one. I've been getting a lot of Devin Singletary. Let's start bringing it back up with Dameon Pierce, splitting the difference. I feel okay about that.
In my last draft, I think Pierce fell like 12 spots past ADP, and that's where I took him as my first RB.
Who?
Or
Sorry.
second RB. Sorry, second RB.
Who? Sorry.
Pierce.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Solid RB, 0 RB target for being your first guy.
Yeah, definitely. I'll tell you what. I will tell you, there's 3 wide receivers on here that I actually want to take. If any of them are here in 5 picks, I will take them. If not, I am probably going to transition myself to taking an RB here as well.
What are your thoughts about leaning into Cooks and Dak in this turn? Dak will be too early, I think.
Yeah, I don't want to take Dak that early, but yes, Cooks is one of the guys. It's Davis, Cooks, and Zay Flowers for me, the guys I want to target here.
The only other one I would have thrown in there, those would have been the exact guys I mentioned for you, was Elijah Moore, because I thought you were getting a little more Elijah.
I actually, so I like Elijah Moore, but I kind of think his ADP is a little too high.
86 isn't bad. I mean, I think it's just the name recognition, honestly.
I also don't like to take players that I think another player can go on the team. Like, that's why I'm not drafting any Dolphins running backs, because I think Cook's going to go there, and I'd rather just let that settle.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's some true steam about Hopkins going to Cleveland as well. All right. So do I take
that could be real.
Take Dallas, Cooks, and yeah, you know what? I think I should, because maybe Zay Flowers makes it back to me in 2 picks here. I'll probably take Zay Flowers then. And just go really true 0 RB, because I'm not going to take an RB yet.
All right. I think in your next turn you're gonna be feeling it and pick 86 and 107.
Maybe, yeah, it's a good possibility. I don't know, man. Won't know unless we try, huh?
Or I'm sorry, 107 and 110, because you're coming up in this next next set of picks.
So Zay Flowers don't go here. I'm taking Zay Flowers.
Okay.
If not, I'm not sure what I'm going to do then. Might take Dalvin Cook, Rashad White. James Conner's there. Man, so many people are trying to sell people on James Conner. I don't know I can buy into it. But again, like, am I dumb for not taking James Conner? Maybe a little bit. I mean, he's a guy that the same case for Brian Robinson. A guy that's okay. So this is I don't have to make the decision. Damn, Dallas. Darren Waller is there. Do I go double elite tight end?
Wow. I think you draft a quarterback before another tight end. Me personally.
Oh man.
I really like Rashad White right here. That's my pick. If I can get him. I don't think I will. Someone will probably steal him from me.
I took Zay Flowers. And there goes Dallas. Yeah, or Darren Waller. It's a good pick.
Yeah.
So currently right now, updated team: CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson, Keenan Allen, Jerry Jeudy, JSN, Brandon Cooks, and Zay Flowers. George Kittle as my only tight end. I currently have 7 wide receivers, 1 tight end, no quarterback, no running back.
I've got 6 receivers and 1 running back. Dameon Pierce, who was my last pick. Fuck, Rashad White just went, son of a bitch. Cooper Kupp, T. Higgins, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, Deontay Johnson, Jordan Addison. Was that person who also? Oh, okay, never mind. That wasn't the dead roster.
The dead roster's balling out.
He hasn't drafted a receiver yet. He's like doing the exact opposite of us, which I actually kind of love.
He has Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, Jonathan Taylor, Travis Etienne, Aaron Jones, DeAndre Swift, and Darren Waller. No wide receivers, and he has 5 running backs.
You dummy! Why are you doing that?
That is bold.
That's not bold. There's no nuance to that at all. He's probably auto drafting, to be honest.
I don't know what he's doing. Like, so the Lamar Jackson pick, right? Like, he could have just stacked somebody right there. He didn't. He has Justin Herbert, but he only has him stacked with Eckler. Like, what is this guy gonna do? What are you doing?
Did you just take? Oh, okay, never mind.
I don't know what this guy's doing. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
All good with me, bud. All good with me. Oh, this is interesting. Let's do it again. Alvin Kamara, 0 RB approach. So I waited until pick 75 and 94 to draft a running back. I've got 2 now, and I feel okay with them. I think I may sit for a bit. Maybe until... No, I kind of need some of these guys. I kind of need some of these guys. I need... I need an AJ Dillon or a Gibson or a B Rob or a Samaj. I need one and more of these guys, so I got to lean into it here in this next pick. I need one more, and then I can feel like good about like waiting to like late round if I want. I can just kind of play BPA or whatever the ADP value these next couple picks. There's probably going to be sitting on a quarterback. I've got options still to stack. Actually, you know what? Should I just stack? No, I don't need to. I can wait.
I feel like I'm going to get boned on Dak here. I think Dak's going to go before I'm up.
I don't know. You have Cooks and Lamb. There's no one else that's going to pull him into a correlation pick. I think
unless
he falls
the Tony
to you.
Pollard guy takes him.
Doesn't he have a quarterback already?
Well, as we see, that doesn't really matter to people, huh?
Yeah, he has Trevor Lawrence though. I don't know if I see him doing that. Michael Thomas, Evan Ingram after me. He's on the clock now, Mr. Tony Pollard owner. I don't like that. I would prefer stacking Dak with Lamb and Cooks. That's where you're getting the real value there. He took Juju. I think you're in the clear. I mean, unless someone is just, stream sniping here. This owner has Mahomes. The next guy has Allen. I think you're worried about Dango Milligan.
Oh my God, there's quarterback. Anthony Richardson just went, and I was like, oh no, I thought that was Dak.
It happens all the time. Richardson over Dak. All these guys.
If
Dak,
this guy takes
Kirk.
Dak, I'm gonna need to. If this guy takes Dak, oh no, shit. Charbonnet went too. Damn it. I was gonna do Charbonnet and Gino because I have JSN. Fuck.
Hey, you can't take Dak. Don't take Gino.
Fuck, dude. That dude just took Dak, and he has 3. Dude. He has Jackson, Herbert, and Prescott.
Balling out. No receivers. 3. Count them. 3 quarterbacks.
All right, I'm going to take Pirine and then probably take... Damn, man. I'm going to get buried at quarterback if I don't do something here. Oh, that is...
It's stirring up. Yeah, it's stirring up some emotions. I get it, but
what is he doing?
It's one less live roster in this lobby, so you and me are moving on.
But it messes up what your team could be for the finals if you make it.
I know.
It makes no fucking sense. What are you doing?
Hey man, not every casual gets onto the YouTube machine to figure out the ins and the outs of best ball.
Fuck these guys, man. This is absurd.
I feel it, man. I feel it.
I might just need to take some quarterbacks naked.
Naked, you say?
Man. So Gibson and Brian Robinson. Do I take Gino though? No, you know what? I'm taking Brian Robinson. I'm doing it. You took the draft board off, FYI.
Yeah, no, I was trying to fix it. I didn't realize the actual board wasn't up.
Oh, I thought you just wanted to kind of see, have people see your thought process.
No.
So my first 2 running backs are Samaje Perine and Brian Robinson. Luckily, they have different wide receiver or a different bye weeks. I can't believe that dude take Dak. 3rd quarterback.
People aren't
for real.
Friends. They are not our friends. Sorry, bud. I'm looking at Kirk or Gino here. I might get both. They're both going after ADP. Well, they've already passed their ADP, as a matter of fact. We're at pick 115. Cousins 111. Gino 114. I don't have any.
So what you're saying is you don't want to leave Gino there for me, is what you're saying?
No, not happening.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, just curious.
I have DK, my second best receiver, so I should probably get at least one of these guys, and then maybe Matt Stafford. Let's see.
Dude, I'm dumbfounded right now a little bit.
I'm sorry, buddy.
I just don't understand.
It happens, bud. Oh, what do I want to do?
Like, why? What do you get out of that?
I know it. This guy has 2 quarterbacks already. The guy in the turn doesn't have any. I got to go full upside. I think that Cousins has been more consistent past 2 seasons. Dame Harris. Yeah, man, I know. I mean, these lobbies are crazy. And honestly, he could just be on auto. Like, he could just be auto picking. He could have just left.
See, I don't think so, because he's making his picks like halfway through. If he had autopilot on, it would take it much quicker than that.
You're right. It would. You're right.
So I think he's actually picking, but it's like, does he know that you need to start wide receivers and you can only start one quarterback? Was
I don't
like,
think he does, Andrew. I don't think he does.
oh, Justin, I'm telling you,
Sorry.
man. Dude,
Sorry,
I haven't
buddy.
been tilted in a draft in a little bit, but I'm slightly tilted right now.
You haven't played enough online poker in your life, man.
Dude,
I
oh
have
my
layers of this shit
God.
in front of me. Like, you
I
can't
just
phase me.
I don't understand. Like, I was gonna take Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, oh, Aaron Rodgers probably fall back to me. Nope, just went.
Yep. No, I don't think so, bud.
So I'm about to get buried. I'm gonna need to take Russ. I think that's the only quarterback left that I can stack with.
Drink up, buddy. Drink up.
Yikes. I can back up and punt and go to Derek Carr and take Shaheed and take one of Taysom Hill or Johnson.
What about your boy Jordan Love? That's
My
your
buddy.
boy.
I have no Jordan Love.
You have no Jordan Love?
No, I have no love for Jordan Love.
No love for Jordan Love. Jordan Love, love. Man, and you don't get to draft Chig. This is not your night, pal.
Bruh, this is a rough one right here for your boy.
Sorry, buddy.
I'm sorry too. I really am.
I'm disappointing the fans.
I see another stack I could go with after Russ, and that'd be Stroud. Because there's plenty of Houston guys to stack with, including one of your favorite tight ends, Dalton Schultz.
Yeah, there you go. You can get Stroud, some Schultz. Go get you some Mac Jones and Mike Gesicki.
I think though
Go get you some.
I think my picks here though are probably going to be Wilson and Warren or Wilson and Schultz. Unless one of these guys just want to take Wilson while they're at it too. Might as well just snipe all my fucking quarterbacks.
Yeah, if you don't let Derek Carr come back to me.
Dude, you fucking come on, man.
No, I can't. He's the guy I have to get off of. I've got over $500 invested in him already. Like,
yeah.
All
right. So I am taking Mr. Russ. And then probably
Jared
I'm gonna take
hell?
Jalen. Do I take Schultz? No, I'll take Jalen Warren.
I'm Jared Goff over Russ Wilson, in my opinion, but I might be on that island alone by myself, but I'm gonna survive. Jerick McKinnon. Ugh.
All right, I took Jalen Warren.
I like Jared Goff over both of those picks, but hey.
I mean, it doesn't make sense for me to take Jared Goff. Who am I stacking him with?
You're not stacking with anybody, but at least you're getting a good quarterback, someone I can anticipate.
So you're telling me for my team, you'd rather take Goff over Wilson, where I stacked P. Ryan and Jerry Jeudy?
I guess that plays for you, but why Jalen Warren over him?
Because, like, who am I going to stack with Goff? Sam Laporta? Marvin Jones?
Oh, yeah. Actually, those aren't.
I'd rather do the Derek Carr and take one of the tight ends and Shaheed.
I'd rather just take a guy that I trust to finish as a top 10 QB. He finished as number 7 last year. Like, even if he regresses, he's got 5 open spots to still finish as a QB1. Like, I just think when you're that late and unexposed to the position, why not take both?
So let's take a look at last year, right? Last year, you would have said probably, hey, you know what? Russell Wilson's been finishing pretty good. He's probably going to be a top 10 quarterback, right? He sure fucking wasn't.
I didn't, actually.
I know you didn't. I'm just saying the majority of people were looking at it that way, right? Jared Goff, he finished great last year, but doesn't mean he's going to finish this year.
I guess. I think they're different arguments.
Don't you think their run game's going to be better? Not scoring touchdowns.
No, I think it's going to be. Oh, no, I think it's still going to be worse. They're going to throw to the running back a lot. I don't think David Montgomery is going to be Jamal Williams. I don't think he's scoring. I think
David Montgomery is a better running back than Jamal Williams.
I don't think he's going to score more than 10 rushing touchdowns, and that's what made Jamal Williams better.
Touchdowns out of it. I understand that.
So what is his best value then? Is Montgomery going to catch a ton of passes then?
I wouldn't say a ton of passes, but decent.
Mm-hmm. Jamie jumped into our little craziness here.
Yeah, I love that he said, "What craziness did I walk into?"
Zero RB.
We just got real heated there discussing Jared Goff and Russell Wilson. You know you're on the clock, right?
Yeah. I'm looking. I'm staring at tight ends. We got 8 seconds here. Let's go with my boy. Well, not my boy, but my boy. He's in the brethren. I get some more Cole Kmet exposure. I don't have a ton. No, I mean, we can put money on it. We can debate all day. I'll take Jared Goff over Russell Wilson.
Total fantasy points or points per game?
How about we do total fantasy points, but they both have to at least play 14 games.
Done.
All right, easy. Who's shaving their head?
Oh, okay. If you think I'm shaving this beautiful, luscious hair of mine, come on now. Get out of here.
It's not beautiful if it doesn't grow back.
It will grow back, but I mean.
All right. Well, then what are you worried about, bud? What are you so worried about, huh?
I don't know. I never shaved my head before. I'm scared.
Yeah, I wasn't that fond of it when it happened to me, but you got to dive in. Commit to the bit. MVS, DJ Shark. I'm gonna get a little more DJ Shark. I have a lot of DJ Shark in the big board. I don't have a ton of them in Best Ball Mania 4. He's probably like top 3, top 4 exposure for me total in the big board. He just had so much value then. I think he was going a couple rounds later, to be honest, like 15 or 16. Getting a little more excitement now with the QB situation settled. When I was drafting him, I was certainly hoping that CJ Stroud was going to be picked, but whatever. Take what I can get. I still think he can play more snaps than Adam Thielen and Jonathan Mingo. So just getting really good value there. Do we think that Geno outscores both Goff and Russ? He did last year. I don't know.
I would say more than likely, yes.
Yeah. He's very accurate. I mean, I think that's what you're really buying into is he going to be as accurate as he was last year? And if he is, then yeah, the answer is yes. Ooh, and you don't get Roshan.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm already 32% drafted of him. I feel like that guy just did me a favor, so I don't have to pick him.
I guess. I just figured you just keep, flooring it.
I thought about it.
Yeah, I was thinking some thoughts.
I really hate that Schultz went. I really wanted to take Schultz again, but that sucks. There goes Algier. Fuck me.
I didn't really feel great about taking Cole Kmet as my first tight end, as I've been echoing all offseason, but another one of those pivots, like let's get the exposure. Let's go. Let's clean it up. I still haven't been able to get any Justin Fields.
Oh, thank God this guy in front of me didn't take another quarterback. I thought maybe just load up on 4 while he's at it.
Well, he can't. He has to take a receiver. That's his 4th receiver in round 13, and he just picked 4 straight receivers. Like,
yeah, that's just fucking. Oh, look at this guy, Jamie. I don't know if you're new to the show or not, but I'm a huge Roshan guy. So get at me on Twitter at arob23. I'll show you some love for Roshan throughout the year. And welcome to the show, by the way. If it's the first time checking us out, make sure you subscribe, like the video. We do come to you at least once a week. Justin and I, obviously, we have shows every single day for SGPN Fantasy Football, whether you're into Dynasty, IDP, Best Ball, or Redraft. And obviously, Justin and I try to do every Tuesday and Thursday. We do drafts throughout the weeks as well. So if you are on Underdog, make sure you try to get in. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, get in here while we are drafting with us. We will review your team afterwards as well. Let us know what your username is. This is an easy click right here for your boy, Jerome Ford.
Bada bing. Would have liked Devin Singletary there too, though.
Yeah. Oh, and also, Jamie, if you are not on Underdog already, we do have a promo code for you, SGPN. Get you a 100% deposit bonus match up to $100.
You gonna sell him some Birddogs too, man?
Bro, Birddogs. Great shorts. If you need some shorts, hit us up. Birddog, promo code SGPN. I feel like Jamie's a homie. I don't know. I like his avatar, his little picture that he has. It's a pretty dope looking thing.
Seen a lot of Browns references today.
Look at that. It looks like he's a Browns fan.
Yeah, another one of his favorites.
My man.
You found your Davis Pang.
Dude, yeah, he is me, my best ball draft doppelganger.
Yeah. Oh, what am I doing here? I'm pretty good at receiver. I've got 7. I typically only need 8. Do I want to take my last one here?
I'm up in 17 picks.
I don't think
I've been an underdog for a while. Yeah, you should definitely try to hop in the drafts with us. It's a good time. Usually it's more of a friends and family one. This one was just a spur of the moment kind of ordeal for Justin and I, but normally we have people jumping in with us. So you are obviously feel free to join us. I'm going to see if you're on the old Twitter machine. Get at you. Oh, this has to be him right here. Browns fan? Yes, sir. Looks like it. Definitely following him.
People connecting with
Seems
people.
like a cool guy.
Thing. It's a beautiful thing. Jeez, Jaden Reed, Marvin Mims, John Mechie. What a run of underwhelmingness in the 14th round. Oh, sniped Matthew Stafford after ADP. Son of a bitch.
Ooh, doesn't that suck when the quarterback goes right in front of you?
You would know.
Yeah, I would know like 3 times already.
You would know. Golly, I just don't want to do that. Let's
Oh, look at this. My old co-host
Beery in
says,
here. I'm not looking.
he says, I've seen a few of the SGPN shows before. I think it was Emerson Beery that got me hooked. My
Oh,
old
okay.
co-host, Emerson Beery.
One of
Nice.
my current co-hosts.
Yes.
Sunday show. Me and Emerson do a show on Sunday mornings, Jamie. Check it out. I went with Tyler Higbee. I mean, I didn't get Stafford, but I'll correlate him with some Cooper Cupper time.
So I kind of think I know what I want to do here, but I'm just asking you, if you had Russ and Carr, you just sticking with them, or you taking a third quarterback?
Russ and Carr. I mean, in the high reality outcome, you should be fine. Like if both of those guys are going to finish QB1 and you're going to be contending, then you really shouldn't need another one. But I also took Kirk Cousins and Geno, and I was just about to take Matt Stafford. So as long as you're stacking, I think you're fine if you want to do it. Early on, I did not do a lot of 3 quarterback drafts, but more so recently than, like, I want to say drafts like 65 through 84. I've been doing like some more like 3-6-6-3s, some 3-6-7-3s, or 3-5-7-3. Yeah, so I don't hate it.
I'm not sure I'm going to take another wide receiver, man. I might just be done at wide receivers.
How many do you have?
7.
I have 7 too, but
they were
I really want to
7
take
in the first 8 rounds.
I'm taking this guy ahead of ADP. I've been off him a little bit less, but the steam's only building for Isaiah Hodgins. Like, you and I have been on him all off season.
Of course, yeah. You don't got to sell me on that.
Yeah, but he's gaining steam. Like, I really wish the beat reporters would stop talking about him running with the first team offense. Paris Campbell goes, exactly a pick after. Hey, Schwang, stop copying my team, bruh. Get out of here.
Fuck.
Juwan.
Sorry. Damn it. And Taysom went too. Like, both those guys went after my pick, and I thought one of them would make it back to me.
Didn't you want CJ Stroud too?
Oh my God. So
or you were thinking about it?
I was thinking about it. Yeah. Like, that kind of fucks me there, because I don't really want to take Shaheed now that I have 3, because I want to take 3 tight ends now. But it kind of fucks me, because who am I going to, I mean, Dolchus is gone. It's just going to be naked tight ends for me. Like, it's just going to be what it is.
Make them count. Make them count.
Oh, man, that blows.
I am at 2-3-8-2. I really don't need anything but running back, so I could go RB, but I think I'm going to go RB tight end to finish. So I'll do 2-5-8-3. I don't think Higbee and Kmet are enough. Probably take like a boomer bust tight end in the last round. I was thinking about Conklin, but there's no way he makes it back to me. Maybe I can get McBride. No, I probably can't get McBride in the last round. He's picking up steam too. Maybe Logan Thomas. I've got Terry, so it could correlate there. Are you going to grab Fergie? Are you grabbing Ferguson?
Jake?
Yeah.
No.
Just grab the Cowboys?
Nope.
Even in the last round?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Fair. You don't have to, but it could help.
You don't have to, but you might want to.
Yeah, that red zone high value exposure touches, might be there for him. Just saying. Who's available at tight end? Take a peek here. Ty Conklin, Gesicki, Hurst, Luke Musgrove, Trey McBride. I think out of that group, I like
Musgrave.
Oh, what did I say? Grove?
Yeah.
No, Musgraves. Sorry. I think out of that group, I like Conklin and McBride the most. After them, you have Michael Mayer. I like Michael Mayer a lot, but best ball, I just can't get it. I just can't buy in with heavy shares. Calvin Austin, mercy. Whoa. What the hell?
Shit. Whoa, mammy. That is crazy.
The guy went Kenny Pickett, Calvin Austin. What the mother of duck?
I really need to make a decision here if I'm taking another quarterback or not, because if not, I'm going to take Shaheed. Oh, I want to take Sam Howell, but I don't think I'm going to. You know what? Let's just run with the 2. Just run with the fucking 2, man. Whatever.
Yeah. Jamie likes Gesicki too. I got some Gesicki love here. I don't hate that. I've been preaching some Mike Gesicki. I just think that he's underutilized in the Dolphins offense. I think he could be. I think he can have a presence for the Patriots. We saw the Hunter Henry usage last year. It's not like he was getting a ton of volume. He was just getting, really great looks in the red zone for at least the start of the season. I don't think that lasted forever.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say? Calvin Austin just got some bud with either coach, speaker, beat reporters. Yeah, that's not happening, bud. It's not happening.
Yeah, that's a bit rich right there.
Yeah. They're going to run the ball a lot. Oh, man. Chase Brown went exactly where he went in that last draft I had on the board when we were talking 0 RB. Damn. I was thinking I could get him. Yeah, don't fall for that. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to be cut, but I feel like he's closer to being cut than he is to like being of value.
Yeah, just looking down the board here at some players, don't you think Kareem Hunt should be going higher? I mean, he already reports came out this week that like several teams have reached out to him. Like, you're telling me not one of these teams is going to draft this guy? Like, if he's drafted, he's going above everyone going right now.
Were you really that impressed with him though last year? Like I saw like a decline. Like Zeke Elliott still had.
I don't have to be impressed with him. He's a depth player on a team that used to be a first round pick. Like, it's, to me, it makes sense to pick him in best ball because it doesn't really matter where he goes. Those people are going to find value in him because he's a good running back.
Just an underwhelming season last year. I mean, he's going to need a good landing spot regardless.
You don't think that him going to Washington with Eric Bieniemy, a coach that he knows already, and with a scheme that he knows already, you don't think he can make an impact with maybe, I would say, 3 or 4 spike weeks?
No, I don't. I think if that's the case, I think it's going to lower everybody's value. I just think that Antonio Gibson and Brian Robinson are very, very stiff competition for touches.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Just for you, here you go. Just because I like you, and I've drafted too much Zeke Elliott.
I sold you on it, didn't I? Don't lie to the people.
Sure, yeah, you sold me on it, and I need less Zeke Elliott and Leonard Fournette. I need less of that. So, I need the third guy that's not signed, or fourth guy if you include Dalvin Cook. So, yeah, sure, you sold me. You sold me on Pierre Strong a couple of drafts ago. I took Pierre Strong. Sure, I'll do it.
Yeah. Who took Sam Howell? Where the fuck did Howell go? Oh, right there. What does this guy have? Tua and Howell. He could have 2 quarterbacks not playing at the end of the year.
He could have. Who's he picking right now? He's got to pick another quarterback. There's no way I like Bryce Young right here.
I don't think he's gonna. I think he's gonna take a tight end or a running back.
He should take Bryce Young right here. That's what he should do. Let's see what he does. 8 seconds. Come on, Seattle. Wan'Dale Robinson.
Wide receiver. Whoa.
Super underwhelming pick. His last 2 wide receivers picked were John Mechie and Wan'Dale Robinson. Mouse in the house. After balling out. Balling out is like really fucking bad.
Very interesting.
So people overreacting to non-news. Yep. I mean,
yeah,
what else
welcome
is there
to this part of the year. Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to the dog days. Robert Woods, such a sexy round 17 and 18 pick.
Maybe.
I mean, I see him playing the majority of touches there as long as he's healthy.
So I tried to get on Hope and Davis's show last night and get in their draft. I missed and was in the overflow.
Mm-hmm.
Just guess at where Deuce Vaughn went in that draft.
Oh, God. I mean, if it's above round 10, it's just stupid. Like,
most certainly was.
Yeah, I mean,
whatever. You want to take a stab at it at all?
Round 7?
He went pick 58.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I like literally had to I kept going back to it. I'm like, am I reading that right? Like
58 is round 5?
Yes. And I'm not even shitting you. I can show it to you. It was absurd. I read it like 4 times. I'm like, does that say Deuce?
That sounds like the Father's Day ADP that I was getting. That day was ridiculous. Oh, so, you took Tyler Conklin.
Somebody must have it's probably a Simpsons writer because they always know what happens in the future.
Dude, did you see that shit?
Yes,
Simpsons,
I did. Again,
fucking submarine shit. Oh my fucking God.
I'm convinced that they're time travelers. They already know what's happening.
Yeah. I'd like them to really get into some deeper content, you know? Not just blurbs from the news, you know what I mean? Like, what the hell? I really hope the horror episodes don't wind up coming up to be a reality. Maybe that's from their timeline. I don't know.
Their timeline.
What the hell? Yeah, that was crazy when I saw that. I was like, I'm pretty sure I peed a little when I saw that meme. What the hell? Desmond Ridder, another really good round 18 pick, in my opinion. I have a lot of Desmond Ridder.
Zeke. You know what? I'm just gonna take Zeke just because he just falls and he's gonna go somewhere and probably score some touchdowns. I'll just take it as 0 RB target.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt, Zeke Elliott, Leonard Fournette, dirty farts.
Oh, dude, I can't tell you how many drafts I've taken 2 of those guys as my last 2 RBs.
Oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
I'm just like,
absolutely.
I'll see what happens.
Yeah, screw it. Because something probably does happen. We see it every year. These guys don't want to go to OTAs. They barely want to go to training camp. Training camp is a little bit more important now just because of preseason being less. There's one game less. So I feel like it does have a bit of a higher concentration now. But yeah, these guys, they're not interested in working out at OTAs, mini camps. Like, it's just the name of the game.
Yep.
Allen Robinson, last round. Calvin Austin, round 16. Ouch. They were talking up Cordell Patterson today. Should I take him per the coach talking about using him in the passing game? Oh, Jamie, why you got to remind me, man? I mean, I'm ready. Let's ride.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, honestly, I prepared for that all my life.
Yeah, I mean, not my whole life, but since Walking Dead came out, I can atone. Yeah, let's go with some coach talk. Let's get some CP3 and on the squad here.
Man, all right, Kramer.
I guess. I mean, I do have some tendencies to draft Atlanta Falcons players, and Kramer really loves them Falcons.
Yeah, definitely. Let's read off our teams here. But before, Jamie, if you're still in here, we do coming up in August after the Fantasy Football Expo, we will have Draft Day 3 right behind me. There's Draft Day 2 poster. Draft Day 3, 24-hour continuous live stream on YouTube, drafting best ball teams. Myself and my co-host Ryan Kramer, one of the lead dogs here at SGPN. Justin will be hopping in with us as well for some drafts. So feel free, please make sure you follow us so you can see updates on that. Obviously we'll be bringing out more updates with guests. We have some really nice guests lined up, some big hitters as well. So it'll be pretty awesome. We do it for charity, donating for charity. So, make sure you follow along and jump in there with us, and feel free to jump in and be there for 24 hours with us.
And if you're still here, you can tell us which 0 RB team that you like more, mine or Andrew's, because I'm going to read mine off now.
Oh, Jamie says he is going to the expo. Justin and I will both also be there, obviously with the SGPN crew. Make sure you come talk to us. Tell us that you were the random guy that came in here talking to us. And I have a feeling if you and I talk, we probably like a lot of the same guys. So definitely,
and I'll probably steal your lighter.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right, go ahead and read off your team.
All right. So again, we just had a show here, talked about 0 RB, so decided to go with that since I think back half of the draft is the place to do it. So 0 RB in mind. Quarterback, Russell Wilson and Derek Carr do not have the same bye week, thank God. Running back, Samaje Perine, Brian Robinson, Jalen Warren, Jerome Ford, Chuba Hubbard, and Zeke. Not bad for an RB room that didn't take anything till pick 107. I'm actually okay with that RB room there. Wide receivers, CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson, Keenan Allen, Jerry Jeudy, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Brandon Cooks, Zay Flowers, and Rashid Shaheed. Tight ends, George Kittle and Tyler Conklin.
And I have Kirk Cousins, Geno Smith, both stacked. I'll get to those in a second. Damian Pierce, Alvin Kamara, James Cook, Jeff Wilson, Kareem Hunt, Cordell Patterson, I was about to say Kareem Cup, Cooper Cup, T. Higgins, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, Deontay Johnson, Jordan Addison, DJ Chark, Isaiah Hodgins. So DK Metcalf and Jordan Addison stacked with my QBs. And then naked tight ends, Cole Kmet, Tyler Higbee. Bada bing.
I think we had 2 decent drafts for 0 RBs. Definitely different builds by us a little bit especially with the tight ends and the quarterbacks there. But overall,
I like mine a lot.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I'll fuck with it.
Yeah, that was number 84 for me.
That was 42 for me. So I'm going to need to pace up here a little bit to catch you. Now, I do know I obviously have 24 drafts in one day coming up here in 2 months.
That'll help.
Yes, I do need to make sure I'm on pace. So I only have a couple more to do after draft day 3.
You'll get there, bud. You'll get there. You got to pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers.
Yep. Sorry, you're gonna have to cut out all family time for a couple days.
Oh, yeah. You got to just bury yourself and, doing like 3 to 5 drafts a day for a little bit there. But I mean,
might have to pop off a couple at the same time too.
Oh God, I did that with Emerson on our last show. That was a pain in the ass.
It's
I
all
just
right.
I didn't want to waste the $25. Like I've done it before with you and me, and I was like, all right, like I think technically the very first one was auto draft because you and I were doing a live show for that draft.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what he's. Oh yeah, I like Chris's team better, but that Jerome Ford pick. I'm Justin, but I think he means me. Swaying me towards the other one because you have Jerome Ford. I could be your Chris. I'll be your Doug. No problem, buddy.
Oh, God, Doug.
I'll be your Doug. All right. Appreciate everybody following along, especially Jamie in the chat for this bonus content. You'll be able to find the front end of the episode, how to draft a zero RB in best ball tomorrow. Be sure to check it out. Download the episode, leave us a positive review. Andrew, anything to share before we head out?
No, just again, reiterating, if you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please leave us a 5-star rating and review. Does truly help us, as well as if you are on YouTube, please like, subscribe, leave us some comments. Let us know what you did or did not like about the episode. All the feedback is welcome. We are here to provide to the fantasy community, you, the wonderful people.
Namaste. All right. Take care. Be good, everybody. If you can't be good, you know the drill. Be good at it. Later.